Right, so I've been doing these Kickstart programs for about 3 years now, and every time I start a new program, I think, you know what, that would be really useful. I've just spent a couple of minutes explaining that because it causes a lot of confusion, and one of the things that does cause confusion is when we start to strip back to basics and do this initial cleanse of the system. It's what can we eat and what can't we eat, and what does that mean, and what is that food type. So a quick lowdown for you, although it's all going to be posted in the group, but just is quite good to talk about it, I think, as well, and it might just sit better with you. So first of all, yes, initially we are going to be cleansing the system, and that just means stripping everything back to basics so that we create a less inflamed gut lining. We're trying to repair the gut microbiome, because when we eat lots of inflammatory foods and processed foods, you know, sugary foods, alcohol and all of that, it creates gut inflammation, basically. So we will need to spend a couple of weeks cleansing that and stripping it away. So we tend to go for finding a healthy, balanced approach, but removing all processed foods. So all of your cakes, your sweets, and all of those things, you know, your ready meals and things like that, we are just scrapping, and we are trying our best to cook from scratch. So the first food groups that we tend to discuss are micronutrients, and they are literally your vitamins and your minerals. So your greens, your vegetables, eat the colours of the rainbow, and that can include fruits and veg. And although initially we do want to cut back slightly on the sugar content because we're trying to reduce our calorie intake, we need to be mindful not to eat too much fruit. So there will be restrictions on that, and we're going for fruits that have a lower sugar content. But as far as your vegetables go, you want to eat your greens in abundance, because not only do they provide essential vitamins and minerals within your diet, there's so many other benefits to it. And like, for example, your spinach is full of calcium. So where we're trying to remove inflammatories like dairy and replace them with milk alternatives to begin with, you know, spinach is a great one. Your cruciferous veggies have a lot of fibre in them. So where we're trying to eat or create our healthy meals over the next few weeks, greens, there's no limitations. Go for greens in abundance, that's absolutely fine. But fruit, just be mindful that obviously they contain a lot of sugar. So that's your micronutrients. And then your macronutrients are basically your carbohydrates, your proteins, and your fats. So when it comes to fats, we want to include lots of good fats and kind of take away the saturated fats. So we're going to be cooking with olive oil, with coconut oil. If you're using butter, go for grass-fed butter like Kerrygold. You can get it in supermarkets. Avocados are good fats. Oily fish. And your nuts. Again, although they're quite high in fat, and you know, there's so many diets out there that will go low in fat, just make sure you have a little bit of good fats in your diet, because that is also essential for cell production and again, so many other benefits internally. Don't forget, we're taking a healthy approach to weight loss here. And then your carbohydrates, we know, are potatoes, rice, pasta bread. They're your kind of general ones, aren't they? And your pulses. But let's try again, because your white starchy carbs have a high sugar content when they're broken down within the digestive system. So just try and steer away from your white bread, your white pastas, your white rice, and go for whole grain varieties. So your rices, your pasta, go for root veg, your sweet potato, your butternut squash, you know, your carrot, all of those root vegetables go for, just initially, because don't forget, we're just trying to cleanse the gut. I'm not saying white potatoes are bad for you, I'm not saying that, just initially we're just trying to steer towards really good carbohydrates. And again, you get a lot of your carbohydrates from your green veg. Green veg is one of the best sources of carbohydrates, so we're safe on that front. And then your proteins is obviously your meats and your fishes. And if you've spent the last few weeks eating a lot of red meats, you know, at Christmas you have to go for turkey with, and there's beef, and then there's gammon, and then the curries come out because we're sick of Christmas dinner. So there's a lot of heavy meats going on. So make sure you're rotating your meats and your fishes. You know, we might be trying a meat-free day one day, but go a little bit lighter on that, maybe your lighter meats and your fishes, and just, you know, reduce your red meat intake just initially. So I hope that's helped. There's going to be loads more nutritional tips coming through over the next 4 weeks. Any questions? give me a shout.